Hello and welcome to Afis Concept TV, where we give you the latest news, gist and gossips. To all our listeners and subscribers, we say thank you for always tuning in to listen to us. And if you are just joining us, we say welcome to Afis Concept TV. Kindly click on the subscribe button to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And do not forget to turn on your notification post to be the first person to get notification when we upload them. And now to the news of today, the headline. Farooq Kperogi, Tinubu and the Yoruba Emir of Kano. And now to the main news. The contest for royal supremacy between Muhammad Sanusi II and Aminu Ado Bayero took an explicitly ethnic turn a few days ago when Hashim Dangurawa, the Kano state chairman of the New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP), said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was protecting Bayero from deposition and humiliation by Kano's NNPP government because of Bayero's Yoruba lineage. If the president thinks he will use a few of his kinsmen in Kano and the alleged Bayero's Yoruba lineage to continue to keep the deposed Emir Aminu Ado Bayero in the state, let him wait for 2027. We will show him that those people will not help him, Dangurawa said. By Dangurawa's ethnic supremacist logic, Kano had a Yoruba Emir from March 2020 to May 2024, since lineage means line of descent, which is traced patrilineally in most Nigerian societies, including Kano. By the way, it was actually Muhammad Sanusi II who first covertly caused this whispering campaign to be created and amplified in 2020 in Kano, in the aftermath of his deposition and the installation of Bayero as his successor. He did it to legitimize Bayero. Nor is this sort of atavistic ethnic baiting Sanusi's first. For example, after former presidential spokesperson Garba Shehu characterized his Fulani supremacist, anti-Hausa and anti-anyone who isn't Fulani, article titled The Fulani Factor in Nigeria Politics, as Sanusi's racist rubbish in July 2000. He was enraged that he lied in an Arewa House lecture that Garba Shehu's parents were from Edo State, as if Edo people were lesser humans. But what's the basis of the astonishingly counterintuitive claim from Aminu Ado Bayero? Is a Yoruba man, even though he is a spitting image of his father, Ado Bayero? Well, it's because his mother, Hajia Miriam, who died in 2021, was the daughter of Zulkarnain Sulu Muhammad Gambari, the 9th Emir of Ilorin, who died in 1992. In other words, she was the older sister of the current 11th Emir of Ilorin. Although no Yoruba person regards the Ilorin ruling family as anything but Yoruba-speaking Fulani people, Sanusi and his ethnic supremacist supporter regards the family locational, linguistic and possibly genetic association with Yoruba people as a stain on the purity of their Fulani identity. Never mind that Sanusi himself and all the emirs in the northwest have locationally, linguistic and genetic association with Hausa people, just like the Fulani emirs in Nupe land have locational, linguistic and genetic association with the Nupe people, or that ethnic cosmopolitanism is central to originative imagination of the Danfodio Caliphate. The notion that Aminu Bayero is of Yoruba lineage because his mother was a Yoruba-speaking Ilorin Fulani princess is utter, misguided, counterproductive, identitarian essentialism, that is, the pretense that there is such a thing, primordial ethnic purism that is unblemished by interconnectedness with other identities. The claim that Tinubu is protective of Aminu Ado Bayero, which by the way I resent because it has no basis in law, since only governors can enthrone and dethrone traditional rulers, is particularly ironic because Ado Bayero was one of only a few traditional rulers, the other being the Sultan of Sokoto, who had the courage to tell Tinubu that his economic policies were strangulating the people. In February this year, he told First Lady Remi Tinubu to let her husband know that ordinary people were in pain, Although we have several means of communicating to the government on our needs and requests, you are the surest way to tell the president the happenings in the country, he said. We get information daily that essential commodities and cost of living are high and people are suffering, although it didn't start with this government. How about the self-proclaimed purebred Fulani Sanusi, who has encouraged his minions to play up the Yoruba ethnic contamination of Bayero as the reason Tinubu isn't supporting him? Well, he is delighted with the current state of the economy and patted Tinubu on the back for removing subsidies from petroleum. It's injustice for anyone to blame the Tinubu administration for the current economic hardship because there is no other alternative than the removal of the fuel subsidy. Sanusi said, after all, Nigeria cannot even afford to pay the subsidy. He even went so far as to claim that the economy is in the toilet because Muhammadu Buhari resisted his counsel to firmly and unequivocally eliminate fuel subsidies. The economy was poorly managed and they were not willing to take advice, he said. A Yoruba Emir was empathetic toward the suffering of his people and told a fellow Yoruba man, who is the president, the truth about the anguish his policies have caused people, without fear of consequences. But an undiluted Fulani Emir told the Yoruba president that his mass pauperization of people and the obliteration of their means of livelihood was all fine and dandy. Yet, the toadish, sadistic Fulani Emir, who chairs while the people insinuate in infernal economic policies, is causing his underlings to whisper that the truth-telling Emir is being favored by the president out of a sense of ethnic solidarity. Maybe the Sultan of Sokoto also secretly has tinctures of Yoruba and possibly Kanuri blood freely flowing in his veins that caused him to be defended and protected by the Tinubu presidency against a planned deposition Sokoto's APC government for his alleged sympathies for the previous PDP government of Aminu Tambuwal. And to the Deputy Governor of Sokoto, I have a simple message for you. Yes, the Sultan is the Sultan of Sokoto, but he is much more than that. He represents an idea, he is an institution that all of us in this country need to jealously guard, protect, promote, preserve, and project for the growth of our nation. Vice President Kashim Shettima said at Northwest Peace and Security Summit in Katsina State on June 25. The truth Sanusi and his defenders don't want to confront is that he is a deeply unpopular person in Kano. He is the only past emir in living memory whose appointment as an emir sparked a violent, spontaneous mass revolt because he wasn't on the shortlist of princes recommended for emirship by the kingmakers. Sanusi Ado Bayero, Aminu Ado Bayero's older brother, was the choice of the kingmakers. Most people know that one of the central pillars of support for Aminu Ado Bayero is the scion of old money in Kano who detests and resents Sanusi and who is extremely close to Tinubu. The NNPP people know this. They know that Bayero's alluring maternal identity, which Tinubu and his people don't recognize as Yoruba, is incidental to the issues. They also know that Rabbi Musa Kwakwanso and Tinubu has struck a deal that required Kwakwanso to spare Bayero in exchange for a favorable Supreme Court judgment and a chance to serve as a minister in Tinubu's cabinet. His betrayal of his deal by dethroning Bayero hurt Tinubu deeply. More than this, though, the dangerous game of reactionary ethnic purism that Sanusi is playing and that his minions in the political arena are trying to instrumentalize for national political machinations would inflict incalculable injury on identity formation in the North. The North, even the Muslim North, is an intricate tapestry of multiple ethnic identities. These identities are united by a higher, overarching glow. In the case of the Muslim North, that glow is Islam, which is causing an ethnogenesis to emerge from a mishmash of identities. To delegitimize or alienate a Kano emir because it traces maternal ancestry to the geographic fringe of the North communicates to the people from that place that they are unwanted, that they don't belong. It reminds me of the grave error of judgment that Northern Muslim elites made during the Olusegun Obasanjo presidency, from which the North hasn't recovered. Obasanjo threw an opportunity for the North to really live up to its one North, one people mantra, and it failed. Of all Nigeria's former regions, the North is the only region that was ruled as one, and that was unbroken until the regional structure was disbanded. Suddenly, because of Obasanjo's appointment, a Northerner who was a Christian was no longer a Northerner. Even a Northerner who was a Muslim, such as Ibrahim Ogohi, wasn't a Northerner unless he came from the Northwest or the Northeast. Obasanjo was clearly smarter than Northern leaders because he destroyed the myth the North cherishes about itself by testing it. Tinubu may be inadvertently doing the same thing to Emirs' system if you don't manage your diversity well. A smart competing outsider will always exploit it to divide and conquer you. Farooq Kperogi is a renewed newspaper columnist and United States-based professor of journalism. Well, I think this is what the politicians have been using to win us. Your tribe, your language, your ethnicity, your religion, and it's always winning every time. I think we should move way past that, using your ethnic group, your language or your ethnicity to judge you. My listeners, what do you think? Kindly leave your thoughts in the comment section, and do not forget to like, to share, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.